cook today. I'm gonna cook today. That is once again what General Manager Brad Holmes did today. Brad Holmes has now done essentially nothing for the first 2 days of free agency for the Detroit Lions. We made one move today. One move. We made one move, two moves technically yesterday, but only one outside signing yesterday. That was signing DJ Reed. I have no problem whatsoever with that signing. It's a good replacement for Carlton Davis. But this team has gotten worse in the first 2 days of free agency. Fatu Melifonwu, I thought he was going to get signed yesterday. He got signed today by the Miami Dolphins on a 1-year, $4 million deal. Why didn't we pay him that? I don't know, because Brad Holmes apparently doesn't know free agency has begun. And we cut Zadarius Smith for no apparent reason. So, I literally don't know what Brad Holmes is doing. We did make one re-signing today, but we pretty much potentially knew that this guy was going to come back. According to Lions insider Dave Burkett, the Lions are re-signing restricted free agent defensive tackle Myles Adams to a 1-year deal. Adams played in 4 games with the team after the Lions signed him off the Seattle Seahawks practice squad late in the season. Finally, we got a defensive lineman. A defensive lineman is on the roster, right? We re-signed Myles Adams. If Brad Holmes isn't going to attack anybody on that defensive line or anybody else that is not on the team in free agency, why don't bring back our own guys that you need to bring back? Tim Patrick, we got to bring him back. We don't want to keep waiting because we don't want to be in the situation we were last year with the wide receiver 3. I brought this up today to my dad. We're almost in the exact same position we were last year when it comes to team needs. We need a wide receiver 3 and 4. We needed that last year. We need defensive line help everywhere. We need that this year. We need secondary depth because we lost to Fatu Melifonwu this year. We didn't have a guy like Carlton Davis at the beginning of last year. We didn't have depth. We didn't sign Robertson until day 3 of last year. So I'm trying to figure out what's going on. Myles Adams, again, welcome back to Detroit. He had a sack this season in a broken play. He has 2 sacks in his, I believe, 6-year NFL, or not that long, I believe in his 4-year NFL career. 4 or 5-year NFL career. He has a total of 2 sacks. He is not a nose tackle. I believe he's 6'2", 290. He's a very small defensive tackle. He is definitely more known as a pass rushing defensive tackle. He is horrible in the run game. Does show some glimpses of a pass rush potentially on that defensive line. If Myles Adams makes the 53-man roster, we have a problem. This is going to be the bare minimum. This is going to be the veteran minimum type deal. He's not going to get more than like $1.2, $1.3 million. There is no way Myles Adams should be getting more than that. Myles Adams was healthy scratch for 2 or 3 games. Because we signed him, I believe, either late November or early December. So I think, was eligible to play at least 5 or 6 games, which means he was a healthy scratch for a couple. I know he was at least a healthy scratch for 1. I don't understand. There were so many guys who got signed today. I did realize though after 2 days of free agency that this free agency class is definitely not as talented as normal. But that does not take away any of what Brad Holmes has done. He has to do something, and he just hasn't. It's crazy how our defensive line got better last season with Marcus Davenport, and we've gotten worse this season. Doesn't make any sense. So, I'm going to go over some defensive ends who got signed today. Let's see here. Anthony Nelson of the Buccaneers, who I could have saw coming here because Casey Rogers taking over for a new defensive line coach. I could have saw him coming here. He gets like 4 or 5 sacks a season. He re-signed with the Buccaneers for a really cheap deal. Joe Tryon-Shoyinka, who we apparently had interest in yesterday coming out. Forget where he went. I don't think he re-signed with the Bucs. I think he went to Seattle or something on a very cheap 1-year, $4.75 million deal, which is almost exactly what Marcus Davenport got. I don't understand. He's really young, gets you 4 or 5 sacks a season. He has potential to become a very good defensive end. We should have took a risk at him. Chauncey Golston, same thing there. He'll get you 4 or 5 sacks a season. He got signed today. Leonard Floyd, he actually got released by the San Francisco 49ers earlier today, and he, within 2 hours, I believe, got signed by, I forget who he got signed by. I want to say, I don't know who he got signed by. I think the Commanders, maybe? Hold on, let me make sure I got that right. I think I did, but at the same time, I don't think I got it right. No, he signed with the Falcons, so that's the Matt Judon replacement there for them. And I believe that's it. Not a lot of defensive linemen in terms of the defensive end position got signed today. There's still some depth. You still got Joey Bosa, Von Miller, Dennis Gardeck. Guys like Preston Smith, Draymond Jones, Calais Campbell, Azeez Ojulari, Dante Fowler, Emmanuel Ogbah. You still got guys out there that you can get at the defensive end position. At the defensive tackle position, this is where I about lost my mind. Within 1 hour, the Minnesota Vikings signed 3 top of the remaining market players. They signed Jonathan Allen to, I believe, a 3-year, $60 million deal. It's a pretty good deal, $20 million a year, not bad, especially in today's market. And they also signed, like 20 minutes later, announced that they signed Javon Hargrave. I think he got like a 2-year, I want to say $38 million deal or something like that. And right after that, within I think 15 minutes after that, they signed arguably the top remaining guard in free agency to like a 4-year, $88 million deal in Will Fries. Okay, I don't think the contract details have come out for Javon Hargrave yet. I think they said it was a multi-year deal though. So the Vikings, they're improving on the trenches. We already have one of our trenches done, but we're potentially going to be losing a guy, as in Kevin Zeitler, because the Lions just don't want to bring him back right now, apparently. So, there's still some guys. Shockingly, Levi is still available. I thought he would have got signed for sure today. Is there any other guys who got signed today? I don't really think so. I really think those were the only 2 big defensive tackles who got signed today, unless I'm missing somebody, but I think that that's it. So, there's still some guys out there. We got to get another cornerback, in my opinion, whether that's through the draft or free agency. I'd prefer a veteran, though, like Stephon Gilmore. We got to get a safety now. We're down to safety. That's where I lost my mind with the Fatu Malafana. We're now down to safety. We cannot be down much more positions because we're not in a good situation next year when it comes to having good depth on the team. We're just not in a good situation in the next couple of years. That's why I wanted this draft and how we played out this free agency. If we can bring back most of our guys and sign a couple of guys to take some depth positions and potentially start at some positions that won't cost a lot of money, leave the draft for take out the first 3 rounds, and the picks after that be depth pieces for the upcoming season and potentially starters down the road. And now it's looking like, because Brad Holmes has done nothing, that those 4th, 5th, 6th, and maybe even 7th round pick is going to have a legitimate role on the team next year. If we draft right now a defensive end in the 7th round, I don't know who can be available there. I mean, maybe, what's his name? Guy from Missouri in the 7th round I really like. He's going off the top of my head right now. I'm just forgetting everybody. Tyler Batty, he's supposed to go in the 7th round. If we get a guy like that in the 7th round, right now they would be our number 3 defensive end on the roster, behind Hutchinson and Marcus Davenport. That's how bad our defensive line, specifically defensive ends, are right now. It's so bad. And at the defensive tackle position is really bad too. Right now, Mekhi Wingo is your number 3 defensive tackle. He did not look good at all last year. I still think he has a lot of potential, but he did not look good at all last year when he was out there, in my opinion. And Myles Adams is your 4. Like, that's not good, man. So, again, if the Lions make a substantial move or a bigger move or re-sign somebody, I'll make another video tonight, but I highly doubt it. So that's the recap of day 2 of free agency. I'm not even mad. Brad Holmes has, I've seen ruined a lot of people's free agency this year and just in general, and he's kind of ruined mine almost as well. I mean, not that I really care, because I should have known that he wasn't going to do anything off of the previous 3 years he's done. So there's that. The Lions, they better sign somebody tomorrow. If they do not re-sign somebody or sign somebody that's not on the roster, I'm going to lose my mind. And if we're gonna sign somebody that is not on the roster tomorrow, it needs to be a defensive end, a defensive tackle, a cornerback. No, not a cornerback. A safety, a wide receiver, and I guess you can throw a corner in there if you want to. It needs to be one of those 5 positions: a defensive end, defensive tackle, wide receiver, cornerback, and a safety. One of those 5 positions needs to be. It better not be a linebacker, a special teamer, a running back, a quarterback, a tight end, an offensive tackle, offensive guard, center. It better not be any of those positions. Watch it be a fullback. Watch us sign Kyle Juszczyk tomorrow. That's what we're going to do. We're going to sign Kyle Juszczyk, the 35-year-old fullback. That's what we're going to do. I'm starting to lose my faith in Brad Holmes a little bit. If he does not do something on the defensive line for the rest of free agency or in the draft, there's going to be some questions. One pride, go Lions. He has to do something tomorrow in free agency, or otherwise we're not in a good position, I'm not going to lie, for this upcoming season. It's unreal. One pride, go Lions.